Hello students, microeconomicsum, macroeconomicsum ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ എഴുതുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ ഇതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് തരികയാണ്. നിങ്ങൾ പഴയ ക്ലാസ്സുകളൊക്കെ കേട്ടു എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. നോട്ടൊക്കെ എഴുതണം. സിമ്പിളായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ ഇൻഡിഫറൻസ് കർവ് വരയ്ക്കാം. ഫോർ ദ എക്സാമിനേഷൻ പോയിന്റ് ഓഫ് വ്യൂ, all question papers carry the question of what is indifference curve, what is the reason behind the shape of indifference curve, what are the properties or features of indifference curve. Generally, examination question paper would carry 3 or 4 marks question. So indifference curve is very important. It's a simple concept. I start my explanation. Indifference curve concept is based on ordinal utility theory. Ordinal utility theory presented by Samuelson, cardinalism Alfred Marshall, and revealed preference theory by ഹലോ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ്, എക്കണോമിക്സ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ എഴുതുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഉള്ളൊരു സിമ്പിൾ ക്ലാസ് ആണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. നിങ്ങൾ വിക്ടേഴ്സ് ചാനലിലൊക്കെ ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട് എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. ഇവിടെ പ്രധാനമായും പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഇൻഡിഫറൻസ് കർവ്, വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ ഷേപ്പ് ഓഫ് ഇൻഡിഫറൻസ് കർവ്, വാട്ട് ആർ ദ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടീസ് ഓർ ഫീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഓഫ് ഇൻഡിഫറൻസ് കർവ്. So for examination point of view, this concept is very important. This concept is based on ordinal utility theory. What is ordinal utility theory? Utility or satisfaction cannot be calculated in numbers. Here we just suppose we have a bundle of fruits. I can rank apple first, banana second, grapes third. ഇങ്ങനെ ഞാൻ റാങ്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതിനാണ് റാങ്കിങ് മെത്തേഡ് എന്ന് വിളിക്കുന്നത്. ദിസ് ഈസ് എ സബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് കൺസെപ്റ്റ്. ഞാനിവിടെ ഒരിക്കലും യൂട്ടിലിറ്റിയെ മെഷർ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. സോ ഓർഡിനൽ യൂട്ടിലിറ്റി തിയറിയെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇൻഡിഫറൻസ് കർവ് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇൻഡിഫറൻസ് കർവ് എന്നാൽ ദിസ് ഈസ് ദ ലോക്കസ് ഓഫ് പോയിന്റ്സ് ഓഫ് ഡിഫറെന്റ് ലെവൽ ഓഫ് കോമ്പിനേഷൻസ് which give the consumer same level of satisfaction. In simple, I take only two goods, x1 and x2. Good one, good it. Here I have, suppose in last class I told you, suppose I put the 2, 4 in bracket. What does it mean? 2 units of x1 or 2 units of good one and 4 units of good it. Suppose I say 5, 7. What does it mean? 5 units of x1 and 7 units of x2. Suppose I say 10 in bracket 10, 3. It means 10 units of x1, 3 units of x2. Suppose here, in order to increase 1 unit, I have to cut another unit because resources are scarce. Suppose I have to increase the consumption of x1, I have to cut the consumption of x2. And here, suppose you just look the table. Here I have 11 units of x2 and 1 unit of x2. So generally, what will be my interest? My interest will be to get more unit of x1 because I feel shortage in x1 and I have plenty of x2. So generally, to get one more unit of x1, to increase the level of x1 from 1 to 2, I am ready to sacrifice 4 units of x2. Why 4? Because the difference between 11 and 7 is 4. So here the marginal rate of substitution is 1:4. I am ready to give, to get 1 unit of x, I am ready to sacrifice 4 unit of x2. Here you just look to increase one more level of x1, I am ready to sacrifice x2, but not the same level I sacrificed earlier. നോക്കൂ, മുമ്പ് ഞാൻ കൊടുത്ത അത്ര കൊടുക്കാൻ തയ്യാറല്ല. ഇവിടെ ഞാൻ 11 minus 7 is equal to 4. Here just it is 7 minus 4, 3. ഇവിടെ ഞാൻ 3 യൂണിറ്റ് കൊടുക്കാൻ തയ്യാറുള്ളൂ. ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പോകും തോറും എനിക്ക് x1ന്റെ അളവ് കൂടി വരുന്നു. But at the same time, I am not ready to sacrifice the much amount of x2. In earlier first time, I paid 4 unit of x2, then I paid just 3, then 2, then just 1:1 equal. So this is called marginal rate of substitution. So what is marginal rate of substitution? To get one more unit of x, what is the level of x2 I am ready to give away, I am ready to sacrifice. It is called marginal rate of substitution. It is diminishing, it is falling. In the first case it was 4, then it 3, then it 2, then it 1. So this is called DMRS, diminishing marginal rate of substitution. So what is diminishing marginal rate of substitution? to get one more unit of x1, the consumer is not ready to give more level of x2. At the initial level, consumer give away more unit of x2, but then consumer cut the substitution rate. This is called the diminishing marginal rate of substitution. So this is the graphical form of this table. So here we have two axes, OX and OY. In x-axis we say good 1. In y-axis we say good 2. So here I can write x1, here I can write x2 or y1. So here you just write here x1 is OX axis. What is the level? Maximum level 5. So here I mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here you just look at what is the level? 11. So here I mark 11. So just you take 11, 1. You take 11 here, you just take 1 here, then 7, 2, then 4, 3, then 2, 4, then 1, 5. So when you draw a line, a free hand line, you will get indifference curve. So indifference curve is somewhat a bend shape. See, it is a bend. This bend shape is called convex shape. So indifference curve is convex. Why? Because this is based on the principle of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Means when a consumer has more amount of x2 and less amount of x1, consumer is ready to give more level of x2 for getting additional unit of x1, but this level is not same. It is in the form of falling shape. So then another point is which bundle is superior, which bundle is better to the consumer. Here is the point, indifference. The consumer is indifferent here. Indifference means opposite of difference, same. So which bundle is superior, which bundle is the preferred bundle. Consumer choose all bundles are same. I mean 11, 1 or 1, 11, 2, 7, 3, 4, 4, 2, 5, 1. All are equal to the consumer. Equally preferred bundle, equally liked bundle. Why? Because in the first bundle, x2 is very high, x1 is very less, but you will just check last, x1 is the maximum, but x2 is its least form. So all bundles are equally preferred to the consumer, just like parents, kids, all are same to parent. So any point on the indifference curve shows equal satisfaction. Point A shows more x2, less x1. Point B shows more x1, less x2 or good 2, y1 or whatever it may be. So indifference curve is convex to origin. Any point on the indifference curve shows equal satisfaction. So it is called efficient bundle. Suppose a consumer's interest is what? To increase his consumption, to take more. So suppose I draw an indifference curve here. This indifference curve is better than this one. Suppose I draw a far away indifference curve here. That indifference curve is better than any other indifference curve. So when we move away from this point to the extreme point, that indifference curves are superior. So suppose I draw an indifference curve here, this is superior. Why? Because it consists of more x1 and x2. Suppose I fall from this indifference curve, it is inferior. Suppose I draw an indifference curve here, what does it mean? I consume only less amount of x1 and less amount of x2 or y1. So this bundle is called inferior. Any point on the indifference curve shows equal satisfaction. Okay, these are the main points I want to discuss. Few points more. Suppose I draw a group of indifference curve. It is called indifference map. What is indifference map? A family of indifference curve, a group of indifference curve, a set of indifference curve is called indifference map. Here I drew three indifference curves, IC1, IC2, IC3. This group is called indifference map. Which indifference curve is best? IC3, because this is the longest one, this is the farthest one. Which indifference curve is the inferior to be IC1? So this family of indifference curve is called indifference map. Next point I want to discuss is what are the features of indifference curve. There are three features to indifference curve. One, indifference curves are falling from left to right. This is left, this is right. Falling, this is falling from left to right. This is the one feature. Second feature is indifference curves will never cut each other. Why? All indifference curves are different. So this indifference curve's value, suppose you think 2, this is suppose you think 4, this is suppose you think 6, 2, 4 and 6 will never cut each other. So indifference curve will never cut each other. And third one is higher indifference curves shows higher satisfaction. I just told you, suppose I draw far away indifference curves, which are better to the consumer, which gives more satisfaction. Fourth point also you can write, indifference curves are convex to origin. These are the features of indifference curve. Before concluding my class, just I tell you, this slope of the indifference curve is called convex. Why it is convex? Diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Suppose the marginal rate of substitution rate is not diminishing, what will happen? Indifference curve's shape will also change. For example, just for example, suppose I increase one more unit of x and I cut one level of x, y only, x1 only. Suppose it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is, you just imagine, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, or 5, 4, 3, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this level, suppose the same rate x1 is increasing and y is falling. The indifference curve will be a straight line. You just check in your rough paper. You change this table and just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You will get a straight line. So suppose I draw an indifference curve in a straight line. It means the marginal rate of substitution is not diminishing, but it is constant. It is same. And another chance of indifference curve is, suppose it is concave. Suppose it is this type of bulged form. It is called a concave. Because suppose when indifference curve get a concave shape, this theory just opposite. It doesn't work out. Suppose just for argument we will say I am increasing consumption of x1 and x2 also increasing. Then the diminishing marginal rate of substitution will be increasing marginal rate of substitution, and indifference curve will be a convex one. So these are the main points I want to discuss. The general principle of indifference curve is it is always convex, it never cut each other. The reason is diminishing marginal rate of substitution. To draw an indifference curve, I have to make a table. So what is the marginal rate of substitution? To get the marginal rate of substitution, you just check the change of x1 and change of x2. The x1's change is always 1, x2's change is 4, 3, 2, 1. This is called the marginal rate of substitution. Okay, today's class is over. Have a nice day.